Ooh, goodness.
Are we good at Miss Emily?
I'm ready.
Places on
You're in the beer time.
All right, I'd like to call the meeting of the City of Fairhope Board of Adjustments and Appeals to order.
Live here?
The time is 5 o'clock. First off, I'd like everybody to take a moment and review the minutes, and then I will be open to accepting a motion.
I saw nothing to question, so I'd make a move, we approve them as submitted.
All right, I have a motion on the floor. Is there a second?
I wasn't here.
I'll second that.
Ms. Stankowski will second the motion. All right, all those in favor of approving the minutes, signify by saying aye.
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 I abstain.
Opposed?
Sorry.
And one abstention. Miss Emily. All right. I'd like to introduce tonight's case, BOA 1804, 325 Pecan Ridge Boulevard. Mr. Buford.
And Mr. Chairman, members of the board, the subject application before you today, this occurs within the Pecan Ridge subdivision.
And make sure you step up to the mic.
Can you hear me okay? Yes, yes, yes. And so Pecan Ridge subdivision, as you can see on the screens as well as in your packet. And this is Lot 5 of that subdivision. And let's move to the next slide, Emily, please. And so, Chairman and board members, we were approached by Mr. Harold Thompson and Ms. Brenda Thompson. Ms. Brenda Thompson is here tonight representing the applicant. And the request of staff was that the intent is to construct a home of approximately 3,500 square foot lot coverage on Lot 5. And Mr. Thompson's question was that he believed that the lot coverage of the desired home would not be sufficient for the setbacks of the subject property. And so what you have on the screen as well as in your packet, on the left are the setbacks drawn. This is drawn to scale. Those are the setbacks as required by the subdivision plat. Now, this is a subdivision we have visited a couple times for boards of adjustment cases, and it's unique because there are no corner streets in the subdivision. All the streets are radiused. So it has radii in various components. This one has a concave radius on the east side of the property. We evaluated the request of the Thompsons, and what we determined is if you apply the setbacks as allowed by the subdivision plat, you have approximately 2,800 square feet of buildable area on Lot 5. You'll see in your packet, it's more fully described in your packet, where we analyzed the homes within approximately 300 square feet of the subject property. We use the 300-foot model because that is the notification buffer area where you would receive notification of a case, of a subdivision type case. The average lot coverage of the homes within 300 feet of subject property was approximately 3,500 square feet. So what staff interpreted the Thompsons' request is that they wish to have the minimum deviation from the minimum deviation through a variance that would allow construction of the home desired. The image on the right, also drawn to scale, shows the buildable area with a 35-foot front setback, a 30-foot rear setback, preserving the 10-foot side setbacks. The 35-foot, of course, complies with R2 zoning. Using the 35, 30, 10, 10, that gives you a buildable area of approximately 3,800 square feet, and it's described, the specific calculation is in your packet. The justification and the recommendation for the approval of this variance is based upon the size, shape, and topography of the lot, because you have a crescent-shaped east lot line, which creates a crescent-shaped setback line. 3,500 square foot is the requested home to be constructed, its requested lot coverage is in line with the average of the other homes in the buffer area around the subject property. And so by creating the setback lines that you see in that image, that would give you 3,800 square feet approximately on which to construct a 3,500-foot house of lot coverage. And if we could move to the next slide, please, Emily. And so these are some photographs of the lot. As you can see, there's a planter feature. There is a decorative planting feature in the center of the semi-cul-de-sac that's in the front of the lot. So you see that in one of the photos. And then you see one photo is facing almost due west. One is facing to the southwest, so you can see the house in Lot 6. And then one is facing toward the northwest, so you can see the house in Lot 5. And for comparison purposes, it's not on the slides, but it's in your packet. The buildable area on Lot 4 was about 4,800 square feet. I just mentioned that for comparison purposes. And then if we can move to the next slide, please. So this is, and is also included in your packet, this is the subdivision plat for this subdivision. And it's very difficult to see. We downloaded this off the county's Revenue Commission site as recorded for the subdivision, but I examined it by zooming in the digital file as well as with a magnifying glass. I couldn't find a narrative that explained why certain setbacks were applied to certain lots. I wasn't able to determine that, but I did include it in here for record purposes. And then, Emma, if we can move to the next slide. This is the floor plan for the desired home, and you can add up the various dimensions in the lower right-hand corner of the drawing, and that's where we derive the approximate 3,500 square foot lot coverage. The dimensions on this drawing are to interior walls, so I rounded up to estimate the face brick to face brick dimension of approximately 3,500 square feet. So, Chairman and members of the board, that's our recommendation is for approval as worded in your packet.
All right. At this time, the applicant is invited, if they so choose, to say anything or make a presentation. Does the applicant have anything to say?
Mr. King's presentation.
Okay. All right. I guess, so that is actually, I will then open the public hearing. Is there anybody here that wishes to speak? There is nobody here, I do not believe, to make from the public. So I will then close the public hearing.
Mr. Chairman, I would like to state for the record, I have received a couple calls,
Oh, okay.
but nobody has been in opposition to the request.
Okay. Thank you very much. Sorry about getting a little excited there about opening and closing. All right. Do any of the board members have any questions for staff and or the applicant?
So this is really a request for a variance to the plat setback rather than the ordinance setback.
Well, sir, we have to go by the way the ordinance is worded, since the request to staff and to the city is actually for a variance. So what will occur and the effect of this action will be is that the applicant will then be able to receive from the city the notice of action taken. They can then take that notice of action taken and make a probate recording. So that way the variance is now recorded in a part of that lot and is preserved for posterity for that lot, allowing the home to be built. So a replat, correct me if I'm wrong, Emily, a replat would not necessarily be required in this case because we have a fully executed legal document preserved for that lot.
Okay. All right. Interesting.
Okay. Do we have any other questions for staff or the applicant?
I just have a question on the floor plans, which has nothing to do with our issue, but they have stairs going down in the middle of it.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. They have a, for the sake of not complicating the case, we gave a floor plan, but this is a supporting document, so that way we could verify the lot coverage. But they actually have a bedroom above a garage. And you don't see that in your drawings, but there are, they did include a full set of plans that had the elevations.
Okay, thank you.
All right, if there are no more questions, then I will certainly entertain any motion.
Mr. Chairman, I move that that we grant the variance 35 feet. Where's our final? 35 and 30 and 10 and 10. 35 by 30, 10 and 10, as suggested by the city.
I'll second.
Okay, so we have a motion on the floor to accept staff's recommendation for case number BOA 1804.
I'll take roll call. All in favor? No, I'm taking roll call. Harry Kohler,
Aye.
Stankowski,
Aye.
Schneider,
Aye.
Strunk,
Aye.
Slagle.
Aye. Aye.
All right,
Motion
motion
carries.
passes unanimously. Variance is approved as requested by staff. Do we have any old business? None at this time. Do we have a case next month, Miss Emily?
I see they're gonna sell the barbecue, where they put it up for sale.
Did
That's
they?
the one where we
is.
approved, it was it about 2 weeks ago or a week ago?
We did approve a variance on that.
2 months ago.
Yeah.
That is correct. That is why the applicant wanted
The variance.
Oh, okay.
the special,
Well, that was not brought up. and I
the
just thought
use.
it was
The
kind of-
usage, because the facility had been operating as an existing non-conforming operation. However, if for some reason it ceased to operate and did not return to operation in a prescribed amount of time, then its existing nonconformity would go away,
correct.
Understood.
would become invalid.
We do have 3 cases for next month.
3 cases, okay, wonderful.
Sounds heavy.
That does sound heavy, okay. I will then make a motion to adjourn.
Well, wait a minute.
Or
I
recommend
have
a
one more.
Oh, okay.
There's also we didn't bring back the one that was down on the park. We're not gonna do that?
Well, we denied it.
We denied.
Oh, it's
It
denied.
was denied, so they would have to reapply, and if he chooses not to reapply, that's up to
okay.
him, but we denied it.
And you
is there-
can't reapply for a year, right? For the same thing.
Not for the same thing, that's right. Is there a motion to adjourn?
I so move.
Moved.
Motion and a second?
Second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
We are adjourned. Thank you all for coming.